You've probably seen photos of people doing yoga poses in this beautiful, serene nature environment. And you think, just substitute me into that photo. Wouldn't it be nice to be in one of these amazing locations here in the world, especially after a nice long work day? Just put me in that picture. I'll do the same pose too. Like, it'll be perfect. Well, I'm not a yoga expert, but I've tried a few poses in my 35 years of life. And invariably, if I was to substitute myself into that picture, my body would be violently shaking with these massive convulsions. It's not that I'm laughing, and it's not that I have a terrible case of the stomach flu or worse that I'm trying to hold back. No, it's just that it takes a lot of work to do. So basically, the picture is zen. Real life is survival. Well, the good news is real life actually, and this conversation is zen. Because we're going to talk about real life composable websites that you can go kick the tires on that actually are pretty well built. I've made the case that unfortunately not all composable modern e-commerce websites are worthy of examples, because I've seen plenty of them that are just slow as snails, which is incredibly unfortunate. But we're going to talk about some of these examples and where you can find them. So there'll be QR codes, easy to find. I'm Joseph, your president at SwiftOtter, and I am grateful to be able to bring this information to you. We are incredibly passionate about composable for the right companies, the right fits, being able to see the tremendous value and reap those rewards. Composable has come a long ways over the years. Check out this chart here. This is from Built With, and this says 2000. I don't think it's quite accurate to say 2000, just based on, well, I guess they do kind of shorten up, set up. So Next.js has been around for a long time, and that's what literally is powering these composable websites that are for e-commerce. The problem is with our statistics, it's actually a little bit hard to see in these which ones are actually e-commerce enabled versus which ones are just Next.js. I mean, business card websites or application websites, there's just a million different types of websites that could be all built in Next.js. Now, what we have done is done some research based off of what we know, and we've come down with I would say a fairly reasonable graph. And this is over the past couple of years. We are seeing an absolute explosion of composable websites. Now, again, it's hard to filter it out on the Next.js side. Most of the work is happening there. And this chart does not account for Next.js, but what we're seeing is significant progress. So this is like the most conservative level for composable literally that exists. Now, the funny thing is you will see Magento PWA here, which is actually dropping off. Why is that dropping off? Well, because it was a product that was way too early for its time. It was that's where the composable e-commerce cut its teeth, unfortunately. Other companies like BigCommerce and Catalyst, Shopify, Hydrogen, and Oxygen, they are learning from that, and the results are turning out to be far better. As you see, again, we're entering a phase of hockey stick growth for these type of brands. Now, again, I want to make this real, and we're not going to go through just a whole bunch of theory and say, composable is better. I want you on your side to be able to click these links and see, is composable better? Is the experience worth it? So I've assembled 4 websites here that I would like to show you. There's plenty more here in the book, and actually very specific websites tuned toward your users or toward specific platforms. So you can look in the book. This is the book right here, and you can see which ones are composable for given the different platform that you're using: Shopify, BigCommerce, Salesforce, etc. So with that, let's jump in. The first one I want to talk about is a Black Rifle Coffee Company. And this was actually a fairly recent adjustment in the past couple of months that they went headless. The experience is very similar, some slight changes, but overall the experience is quite similar. Look at this. We're going to just refresh this page. And, oops, I need to make sure you can see my screen. We're going to refresh this page again. Just immediate. It's really, really fast. Overall, of course, you'll just notice how snappy this is. Really, really snappy. Let's go find a product page here. Here's the subscriptions. Let's get sort of coffee ground. I mean, just fast. You hardly can even see the page transition when we're in a situation like this. Typically, it's going to get a little bit slower when you add to cart because that requires more one-on-one interaction with the server. Still wasn't bad. The page popped up right away. But this is a really great example of a headless website, composable website, and I think they've done a great job with this. So overall, outstanding marks. And you'll see what's actually happening here. This is not just your run-of-the-mill e-commerce. What this allows them to do is take more control over the front end, present a really customized user experience. Even like this little widget right here. Of course, you can build that out in JavaScript on the front end, but doing it in Composable is just more natural. It's easier to build out something like this. So there's Black Rifle Coffee. Check out the link in the description below. The next one is yarn.com. Yarn.com is a little bit more standard of a look and feel. Black Rifle was more on the customized side, but it still is a composable website. It's actually powered by commerce tools in the background as far as the e-commerce platform and Vue storefront in the front end. So this is not a Next.js website. So check this out right here. We have our website. It's a little harder to see with a refresh, but it's still incredibly fast. And it's just bam, bam, bam as you're going through this website. Everything just is snappy. It loads fast. And I think one of the big benefits here of Composable, as I've said in other videos, is the fastness means that customers aren't waiting. And that means happier customers, which means customers coming from search engines means a lower bounce rate as far as, and also being able to provide better information to them too. That's going to reduce the bounce rate, which means that these results are going to be more relevant to your users, which also helps boost search rankings. Think about this experience versus Amazon. Amazon is honestly not the fastest website in the world, and it's certainly slower than this. This website is an absolute pleasure to browse. Yarn.com. Check them out as well. But we have more. ewool.com. You'd think they're owned by the same company. To my knowledge, they are not. But they sell different products. Yarn.com versus eWool, but sounds very similar. This one is also Vue storefront, so it's also not Next.js, but it is powered by Adobe in the background. I'm trying to get a big variety here of options for you to check out. Look at this one here. They sell outerwear, and it's just shocking how fast this is. And it allows just for a much smoother, better integrated experience across the website. This is beautiful. This is really, really beautiful. Can you make a non-composable website look like this? Of course. But with composable, it's like instead of having to reach out and like pull these different pieces in, it's all right there in this package together, allowing for this beautiful, well-integrated user experience right out of the gate. So again, eWool, outstanding example of a composable website. Moving on, we have Olight. Olight is, I would say, probably the most basic of these websites here that we have reviewed. It's not flashy. It's not just knock your socks off, unintended, how amazing this looks, but it is a composable website, and it gives you a picture for what the possibilities are here on your website. Check it out right here. Notice almost instant load time. This is a little bit, I would say, actually slightly slow for composable. It works well, but you'll notice the new page popped up. This page pops up fast. It's a matter of how this is architected, and what looks to me like here is this is actually the products are being what's called edge side loaded in. So the page is first rendered, which happened really fast, but then the parts after that were loaded in afterwards. So that is what makes, I think, this page just feel a little bit slower overall, but still just lightning fast across the board. Really impressive as far as how this works together. So Olight is another example of a composable system. Now, if this is interesting to you, and if you're finding, wow, this is something I want to think about as far as implementing onto your website, we have written a book called Modern E-commerce. Well, I don't need to hold it up. Well, there we go. We'll just do this. Modern E-commerce. This book talks about going composable on your website. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a tremendous number of benefits. And it's not like we're saying composable is the only way to go. In fact, we have a whole section about why it may be a no-go, why it might not be something that is for your brand. In fact, I actually have a video about why it might be a no-go for your brand. So check the link in the description below. We have a lot of information there about composable, whether it's right for you or not. And honestly, send me your contact information. I will be happy to ship you this book. It's beautiful, just like the work that we do here at SwiftOtter.